Hi, I'm Joe Comerford. Welcome to Chok Muay Chats. Not sure what episode this is, but I tell you what, it's going to be a cracker. I am a commentator for RWS, an MC for Siam Real Combat, a Muay Thai analyst, and social commentator in the world of Muay Thai. And in the world of Muay Thai, people matter, and this is certainly one of them. I think this is the third or fourth time I've had my good friend Pinky on. As everybody knows him as Uncle Pinky. Pinky, Mr. Pink, welcome back onto Chok Muay Chats, my friend.
Thanks, brother. I appreciate you having me on again.
No, it's my pleasure always. Now, I suppose we'll get straight into it. 2025 was a big year for Team Pinky. How many fights, how many wins do you reckon you had?
So my plan for 2025, I had the chat at the end of 2024 when I was quite brokenhearted by it all, really, and I was like, I want to have less fights, but I want to have, like everyone's better fights, And I made it harder to get into the fight team and all that kind of stuff, and it worked out really well. We had, I think it was 39 or maybe 37 fights or something like that. So it wasn't that many compared to normal. We normally get around 50. Um, we got somewhere around the mid-30s. And win-wise, I'm not sure, but there was only maybe 3, 4 performances over the year that actually sort of upset me, I guess. Which upset me is because I want to see everyone doing their best, right? There's maybe like just a small handful that weren't as good as they could have done as such, but overall it was quite a rewarding year, man. I don't think I left one show brokenhearted where like the year before I was just leaving every show like devastated.
Yeah, and I mean, it's one of those things in Australia you can't exactly give the your fighters the sixth round because of
Well, I
all the
do, but
bureaucracy.
actually, it was probably
Oh,
there was one show that broke my heart, and that was Pride in May.
mhm.
Absolutely destroyed me, I reckon. But that was where my missus took me aside afterwards and was like, "You need to get your head in a better place for this. You need to give everything you can, but realize that they're the ones in there fighting, and that you can't control the outcome all the time." Which is kind of what I like to do. I like to drive the car a little bit, and
Mm.
when people aren't doing the best they can, it upsets me. And yeah, the May show really was upsetting. The second half of the year was quite rewarding for me.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's one of those things, it's sometimes it's good to step away and take a look back and realize that, we're only human, we're not always right, and we're only trying to do the best we can in whatever circumstances we've been given. So, that's what the thing that we both love about this sport is we're always learning. There's always something new to learn, and whether it's about the sport or our own character, yeah, it certainly gives us things to think about. So yeah, fairly productive year 2025 for Team Pinky. Fitty Shades had a few fights.
He
So
had 7 for the year, so that was pretty big, man. Like, since
mm,
we didn't know he was going to fight again the year after the year before, and obviously we sat down at the start of the year, you, me, and him. That was like the turning point where he sat down with me and he was like, "Look, I want it on my terms," sort of thing, and we let him do it on his terms, which is better. He chooses when he fights, and he kind of wants to start the year by smashing out six. Like, six is like his bare minimum he wants for a year. So he wants to start by smashing out six really quickly, and then if he gets any more in after that, then good.
yeah, yeah. Actually, it's not a bad way to do it. Go hard at the start, and then you can sort of fizzle out towards the end. He's
Yeah,
not putting
have a
immense
break
pressure.
before one last one or something, like he did
Yeah,
last year.
yeah,
Worked
yeah,
really
yeah,
well.
yeah. He's not putting immense pressure on himself. Big fan of 50 Shades and his style. Forward pressure, good
Old school Muay
clincher.
Thai.
Yeah, yep. Not afraid of a good elbow war, as we saw on SKS last year
Yep.
or the year before. I can't remember. I
No, it
just
started
remember
last year. It was
it was last year.
February last year. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. That was the one that I could have got cancelled for some of the comments I made in the
Yeah.
commentary. But yeah, it was a good fight. It was a fantastic fight, and it's good to hear that he's trying to keep the momentum up. So what's the plan for Fitty Shades in 2026?
we're going to try and smash it out early. He's got 1774 next month for the WBC belt. That was announced last week or the week before. I'm pushing for RWS. Hopefully by maybe March, April. I've been talking to the boys. Then May he'll be on Pride again here in Adelaide. That could be a big announcement if all goes according to plan. June he booked already as well. After that, I'm not sure. He might just save himself for Pride at the end of the year again. We'll see how we go. We've also hit up Sire posted the other day looking for fighters for Cambodia, and I did mention that if we can't get on RWS, then that's the next option. Like if we can go to Cambodia, we'd love that. That last trip was sick, so we wouldn't mind doing that again.
Yeah, cool, interesting. Yeah, so a fairly active year already, sort of in planning mode, which is good to hear.
Yeah.
I'd love to bring out the funny commentary for him again on RWS. That'll be a lot of fun to see him on there. So hopefully,
yeah, man, I'd love for him to be on there. And the thing is, we talked about him being on there 2 years ago, and he pooed the bed, for lack of a better description, a couple of years ago, and decided to take a bit of a hiatus from the sport. But since coming back, it's kind of one of those things. It's something I really want it. He really wants it. But also, if it doesn't happen, we kind of have other things in play that are fulfilling as well.
Yeah, perfect. I mean, I think that's a good thing to have, is a solid sort of plan, but fallbacks, calculated risks.
Yeah. You got it. The thing is, when you're trying to rack up the numbers, especially when you're trying to get like we're trying to do between July and August, between February and August, try and smash out potentially 6 fights. You've almost got to have backup plans. He was originally booked for the last weekend in March, and that show got changed up a little bit, so we're just trying to replace that one. And that fight's been moved to June, so that's the one that he's booked for June. But yeah, the thing is, as you say, as I say, you've got to sort of take it as it comes a little bit in this sport as well. You can't be too picky. And also you can't only train for a particular event. Like, you've got to be there because you've got to be willing to make up the number. Say that a fight's cancelled, your opponent pulls out, you got to be ready to go for something else. It might be a couple of weeks earlier, it might be a week later, whatever.
Yeah, it's interesting because it almost comes back to I don't want to make it about me, but a post that I made the other day about what does Muay Thai mean to you, and just thinking about that idea is that you always have to be ready. And, like with the ecosystem at the moment, Muay Thai is almost like an umbrella term with all the different differences in rounds and rule sets, and what different promotions are incentivizing and rewarding. You have to be a very versatile fighter now, not just a 5-round traditional, the style that we love, the stadium style. But you have to be really able to go forward, put on pressure, but also sit on the back foot, cut angles, have good technique, good strategy to be a complete fighter. It's almost like, it feels to me these days that you can't just be one style. You have to be able to implement different strategies and adjustments.
You do, especially if you're going to try and take all the opportunities. I think we've done, that's one thing with Jason with his experience has come, obviously, like he's far from, he's the absolute opposite end of the spectrum when it comes to IQ, like fight IQ, I mean, like, but because now he's experienced, he starts seeing the shots a little bit better, and he gets a chance to actually, his last fight, I don't know whether you watched his last fight, but he fought that Caleb Curley, that real tall guy from North Queensland, and came out like almost Muay Mutt style, and was throwing hands into leg kick combos and stuff. And it's something we've been working on a lot now. Like, everyone knows he can clinch, everyone knows he can just walk forward. But also, one thing with him, he switches between 3-round and 5-round really well. He doesn't mind which one it is, and he knows how to train for one or the other, but also there's not a big difference. He can do the same pressure for 3 rounds, or he can do it for 5 rounds. Obviously, the 5th round's a bit of a struggle when it's a 5-rounder, when you've started as hard as you do in a 3-rounder, but that's something that he's come really, really good at over the years. He's been obviously doing it for a while now, so you'd hope that he's developed something, you know?
Yeah, exactly, exactly. And you can see, I mean, you can see the development through, the last 5 or 6 fights. He's getting better every single fight. And he seems to be enjoying it a lot more. He seems to be enjoying
Yeah,
the process a lot more.
because
I
he's
remember
choosing to fight when he wants to fight. That was the
that's
thing
it.
with him. He started really early, where it was like 17 fights from the day he walked into the gym till 2 years later to the day he'd had 17 fights.
Mm,
Never trained before. Had his first fight after like just under 4 months from zero, and maybe not. Maybe it was like 3.5 months or something. And then yeah, like from that he had a big break because of the scamdemic or whatever, and then he struggled to find his footing since then, because it's just been like, all right, we'll do this now, we'll do this now. Whereas now I say, all right, what do you want? And he chooses, and then he also knows now he's got no excuse. He wasn't forced to do anything. He decided to do it. So then each time it's his own decision choosing to take that fight. So then he has to put the effort into it.
yeah, it's good. And he's got the WBC title coming up on 1774. Obviously, big card already announced coming up
Always.
there. Yeah, I know the boys. Um, incredible matching, and consistency with the fights there.
Yeah.
Yeah, doing a phenomenal job, Iram and Iram and Greedy.
Absolutely.
Now, you Katie Mitchell's going for the world title as well, so
Yeah.
becoming to
Fantastic.
looking to be a huge card coming up soon. Now, talking about Shannon Gardiner, my favorite botanist. Um, I always make like really shitty gardening puns in her fights. But I think I don't think maybe she doesn't listen to my commentary. She always
I've
just
only ever
calls me.
watched. I've only ever watched the Thai commentary. Like I obviously I can understand Thai, and I've never, since you've been on there, I've only ever seen it when it's on like YouTube, like the highlights and stuff.
Yeah.
I haven't actually watched whole fights. Obviously here, like I do the Thai commentary because I'm a Thai
Yeah,
ass. But
that's all right. That's all right, mate. I can understand about pinching pennies. Um, the so she had a big year last year. And you're in her corner a fair bit, as you are the pit bull of cornermen,
it's
Mister
worldwide.
World, Mister Worldwide. Um, but also, you help manage her a little bit. What's happening for Shannon in 2026? I caught up with her at the WBC conference,
Yep.
and she was looking to spend a little bit of time in Thailand. She said,
Yes.
looking to stay.
This stage, 7th of March, she's dropping a weight division for the WBC 57 kilo world title.
Hmm.
After that, she'll be heading to Thailand, kind of for a long stint. So at this stage, I'm in talks with RWS, with the boys, trying to get her matched around the same time as Fiddy.
Hmm.
So trying to get her somewhere around there as well. Obviously, we all know like the female pool isn't the largest, isn't the easiest to get matched and stuff, especially when you're at her level. Like she's right now a world beater. And many people say the same thing. I can't see anyone beating her in the short term.
Mm.
So it's obviously there's a few people there. There's Judy Humber. I know Marie is making a comeback after her knee, but I know she's still a little while off before she'll be on there. Um, I have heard a couple of other things, but there's options out there, but it's timing as well, which is going to be the hard thing. And she's something that, since I've been, helping her along a little bit with getting her matched and stuff with RWF and all that, she's really taken on board the whole being happy with not always being in fight prep, and
Mm.
to be working without a short-term goal. So just to be doing it to get better, which is really good. It's a really important thing to be able to do, where you can just train, enjoy it, and work on fixing little things outside of fight preps, not just going from one prep to the next, to the next, to the next. And you can see the changes in her now that she's got time to work on getting better. She's hitting stronger now. It's a lot less of that, what are they in Thai? They say like juk dik, like just less of that amateur sort of style. She's turned into a legit pro, and I think way more entertaining than she ever has been now that she focuses on the power more than the work rate. It's great.
Yeah, I suppose that's one of the big adjustments that a lot of people probably don't know about, is when you're fighting that amateur, and especially, she fought a lot under the IFMA model, and a lot of it is kind of just points fighting and high volume, high output, and rewarding that high output. But when we look at the kind of traditional criteria for Muay Thai, effective damage, balance control, you can have high work rate, but the shots have to be effective. So making that, yeah, exactly. Making that transition to pro, can sometimes be quite hard for a lot of these fighters making that transition, especially when they've had success on the IFMA formats, or the kind of I suppose we could probably call it like Olympic Muay Thai.
Yes, yeah, that's 100%,
kind of,
yeah.
Like Olympic Muay Thai formats where it's tournament based and just points fighting. It can be really hard for fighters to make that transition, especially when
having faith in doing less, but obviously unpadded, all that sort of stuff. You're doing more damage when you hit them anyway. So, and damage is what you need to be working on.
Exactly. And I'm a big fan of Shannon. She's not only just a good egg, but an incredible fighter. Super professional, super focused, gets the job done. Just a real salt of the earth kind of gal.
Yeah, for sure.
So, looking forward.
Come and stay to my house. Where I'm filming right now was her little bedroom in my house. It's a little computer room at the front of the house, obviously curtained off, but it's just in my lounge room. But this is where when she come to visit, she was sleeping right here. So easy going, man, but she's also very driven. I think, man, we've got two of the best pros in the world, I believe, in Australia, in her and Max McVicker, as far as like the professional that everyone can look at and go, that's the model.
Absolutely. Yeah, I would agree with that.
Yeah, hard to find these days.
Yeah, I mean, particularly, and I don't want to completely bash and write off new generations, but I feel it's a big thing of my generation of fighters grew up with the internet, but this new generation of fighters grew up on the internet. And, okay, I talk a lot about pushing your own opportunities through social media and building that, and it's a necessity. But a lot are just focusing on that aspect and neglecting the training and the fighting.
And
the mentality and the mindset of it as well.
Can I get into that a little bit with I've been going through it a little bit recently, and just this morning we do like kids grading. We have a gradings thing I know, traditionally there's no gradings in Muay Thai and all that sort of stuff, but I find for the kids it's something that really helps them, give something to aim for. And I think my daughter this morning, because she struggles with what I like to call participation trophyitis, where because they were rewarded for stuff growing up without actually doing anything, like school giving them awards for whatever, this and that, I think they fear so much giving their best and not being good enough. And she was going for her black patiyat this morning, which means then she becomes a trainer in the kids' classes. And that means she starts getting paid. So she was quite excited to do it. But the thing is, she left, though, in the lead up to it, which is what I see in fighters now. They leave little steps out along the way to almost set themselves up so that if they do fail, they had a reason.
Mm.
Like, oh, I didn't do this, I didn't do enough of that. And when she got to the end of it, it's the first time I've ever seen her not, because she's quite talented, so she automatically, into clubs, fights, she does good automatically.
Mm.
So getting to the end of it, and she was actually really upset, like bawling her eyes out. And I was like, this is actually makes me proud that it shows me that you want it. And you've just got to remember that you've got to want these things 24/7, so that everything you're doing, like every time you're training and you start feeling a little bit tired, that's when you got to go, I want this. I want something. I want to, I want to be the best I can be. I want to get my black pads in, or I've got this fight coming up and I want to win it. When you start getting tired, take away the excuses, so that the only thing you've got on the day is you don't pass or you lose because you weren't good enough.
Mm.
And that's okay. This is what people are scared of now, not being good enough. Doing their best but not being good enough, because they were rewarded for not being good enough.
Mm.
I recently had my son come home and he's got an award, a medal from school for a sports thing. And I straight away, there's one kid in their class who, man, not through his own doing, but he's the smallest kid in the class. It's not good. And I go, did so and so get it? And he's like, yep. I go, then throw yours in the bin. I'm like, not taking anything away from old mate, but the thing is, that shows that everyone got one, because old mate walked to the park to play on the playground, and that was his fitness thing. That was his thing that got it for him. Whereas, Antoine does put in. He trains 3-4 days a week. He spars the adults. He runs. He skips. He does everything, and that should be the guys getting the doing that should be the one getting the awards, not the people who didn't do it. And that only just sets them all up for being scared to fail when the time comes that they actually don't get participation trophies anymore.
Yeah, I mean, I can speak on this a little bit as a teacher as well, because we've had a little bit of trouble with this at some things over the years about awards as well. Is that if you give out too many awards, it lowers the bar. It lowers the
Yes.
bar of entry.
Yep.
Now, it's interesting because the way I think about rewarding people, it's not always for the outstanding achievement.
Improvement.
So yeah, and that's a big part. There's been a couple of years where I'll give any award, and it might not be in terms of grades. It might be towards the bottom of the class, but it's the person that struggles and has made the biggest improvement, has gone from not being able to read, but might be up like 6 or 7 levels in their leveled reading books.
Yep.
And I think that's an important thing as well. We're not just rewarding
the
best, because a lot of people can get away with natural talent. There are a lot of talented fighters who don't put in the work.
Yes.
You can have beautiful technique, beautiful strategy, but you can also have super talented fighters who are lazy shits.
Most.
But then when you've got someone who's not naturally gifted and trips over their feet and they work hard every single time, that's the mentality and that's the heart that I like to reward the underdog.
Yeah, for sure.
Bit,
and the proof, like the proof with that whole making, like, reward for effort, that's where I've changed my getting into the fight team. I have these fight team trials that go for a week. I know other gyms that do them, they go for a day or whatnot. Mine go for a week or 5 days. And I'll tell you, it's the 5 worst days of their life. And if you have a break from fighting, you have to do it again to get back into fighting. And it's 5 days of absolute hell. And the thing is, this is where the results have come from in the gym now. It's been over 12 months of me doing them now. And I've literally had the best team that I've had in so long because of it. Because now they don't just, what you said something a few minutes ago where, the bar's lower, like the entry level's lower. Whereas now
absolutely.
Because my entry level in the gym was, man, you're doing good. You want to jump into the fighters now? Yeah, cool. But that ease of getting in there was the same ease of leaving, or the same ease of taking a dive in a fight. Whereas now it's so hard for them to get in there. I've only had 2 drop off since doing fight team trials. That's it. Like 2 people who have got into the fight team to the point where they can actually fight, and they haven't actually gone ahead with it. I've only had 2. So for me, the proof is in the pudding. With set that bar higher to even set the entry level higher, and make it harder to get to the basic. You know what I mean? The bottom of the run, the bottom run has to be hard to get to.
And I think this is a broader systemic problem in Western Muay Thai, especially like foreigners coming to Thailand. I think that now, because of like social media and the impact on Muay Thai tourism, the bar of being a fighter has been lowered so much
Oh,
because of all this shallow content that's been coming out of follow me on my journey of 1 week training, and then I have a fight against a Thai with 100 fights. And it's like, well, you guys don't realize that this Thai is working on an ice truck just to feed his family, and he's fighting foreigners 5 days a week. And I feel like the bar has just been so lowered. And like, I don't want to be a grumpy. I find myself going through this kind of like philosophical balance of like, Muay Thai is for everyone, but it's almost like fighting isn't for everyone. You know what I mean? Muay Thai should be for everyone, but fighting it should not be.
what about this? Fighting can be for everyone. Having a fight can be for everyone, but being a fighter is not for everyone. And like,
Yes. Okay.
there's
Yeah.
obviously the bucket list thing. I was talking about it the other day in a comment section. So I noticed this morning there's like 110 likes on this comment, but someone was talking crap about someone who'd fought. You know, Joe Big in Chiang Mai. He's ex-Channel 7 fighter. He used to be what his name was now. He was a Channel 7 fighter. Now he fights every day, bro. And people are like, oh man, that Thai just took a dive. Well, they do, because they get to the point where it's like, all right, I'm not going to win this. There's no use in me taking any more damage. I've got to fight again tomorrow. And anyone could fight that dude at any level. And you might win, you might lose. But it doesn't, beating him doesn't make you a fighter. Losing to him doesn't make you crap. It's just, it's one of those, at that level, it's everyone can have a crack. But if you're actually going to be a fighter, he's a stepping stone, and you've got to have got through him pretty easily to go to the next guy. And you're allowed to be happy that you beat someone, because one of my boys fought him when I took the team over September last year. And my lad hadn't fought in 13 years, bro. He had 2 amateur fights 13 years ago. And then he fought this guy, and it was an absolute war. Like, my boy ended up beating him. But it was like, that's something to be super proud of. But then the guy who's a constant fighter fighting that guy has to know that, okay, this isn't a pedestal. This isn't a fight where I go, yeah, I smashed this Thai last night. You've got to know where you're at. Anyone can fight. Anyone can fight at that level, especially in Chiang Mai. We know that. That's the entry level sort of fighting, right? Anyone can fight in Chiang Mai, but don't call yourself a fighter because you fought in Chiang Mai.
100%. 100%. I mean, well, you and I have spoken about this so much, and I've put this a lot in my content last year. You know, I was drilling in that whole thing about grifters, and then the kind of the bastardization of the journey and the pathways here. And I feel like I've taken a step away from that because I was just flogging a dead horse. But now I'm seeing it more than ever in the first couple of weeks of 2026 of, guys posting their Lloyd Cross Stadium trophies, and then going back and doing seminars.
From the Western world, I see it even with promoters, with lots of people struggle to understand the levels in Thailand. Like, there's such thing as amateur in Thailand, but you still get paid. It's an amateur level.
Yeah.
It's not called amateur. It's amateur level. It's like when you're fighting in Lloyd Cross Stadium, you're fighting at an amateur level. Like, it's an entry level. It's the same as like C class here. But it's because you're unpadded. It's a different sport. You can't compare it to what we do is C class here with padding and all that sort of stuff. But at the same time, someone going and fighting over there in like we'll say Loicott Stadium, you fight in Loicott, there's absolutely no reason why you can't go back and fight padded in Australia. You shouldn't have to be made to go pro, but also you shouldn't be talking about the fact that you had a pro fight.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you and I could bang on about this for
being honest with yourself, right?
But yeah, and that's the big thing, and you've seen it throughout my content over the last year and a half or so, and I constantly banging on about being authentic and being honest and knowing your levels. But the other crazy thing is like all these guys who have had one or two fights, and then the and look, good on them for being able to work out how to promote themselves and promote their businesses and all this stuff. But, putting yourself as an authority on Muay Thai when you've had like less than a handful of fights, it's like, come on, guys, like get real.
Do you find with that more people are starting to wake up to it? And I find now more people are realizing that people like yourself and I are more real. Like I'm getting I really stagnated with the amount of people following my socials and stuff for a bit there. I think it was while everyone was flooding this. You remember the old mate who did like preparing for my first fight in Thailand, like, and it was his first fight full stop, and he was, man, cool. Document your journey, but it doesn't. You shouldn't be selling technique fucking kits to people, But it's like I find now, just recently, more people are latching onto things that you and I say, because I think more people, once they, there's been a big influx of people into Muay Thai in the last few years, last 2 or 3 years. And I think a lot of them might have come in because of losers that are full of crap. And then they're like, oh, this is what's really about. This is why this person says this, and this is why this person says this. They start following people like yourself and I, and forgetting about old mate who blows smoke up his own bum.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, and I think that's just a wider theme on social media, and like I follow a few digital strategists, and they're saying, like the whole thing now is people are not looking for refined content, but authenticity, and having an authentic voice in whatever niche or space you're in is much more valued than having a neatly polished product. So I think that's it.
Sure.
Getting down to with the amount of like AI slop out there as well, people want that human connection, the lived experience
more than ever.
Now, maybe we just bring the conversation around to goals for 2026. Because I don't want to take up too much of your time.
Oh man, I got nothing to do today, man.
Say that. Goals for 2026, my friend. I mean, you had a fairly big year last year. What are you looking forward to
So this year I'm looking to go back, play the numbers game a little bit more. Like now that I've got a good base team, and the guys that are coming into that team now are seeing the results of the last 12 months of fight team trials and people actually putting in. So I've noticed my entry level has picked up probably a good 20-30%. So I think for now I'm just back to chucking them in on every show again. My amateurs will be pretty much until I've got nothing in June, but I think every month we got stuff for my amateurs, which we're not booked yet, but we will be because they have monthly events, which is good. So the day after 1774, I've got to get back here and then drive an hour north to the Barossa Valley for an amateur fight show. I got 6 nominated, only 2 matched so far, possibly 2 more this week. But yeah, go back to the numbers game, man. I want to, be putting 5, 6, 9, 10 on shows again, like I was 3 years ago, 2 years ago, but at a better level again. I kind of went 2021. We had probably the best team we'd had. A lot of guys coming through, really hungry, smashing it. We had 50 fights, and people like Panna made his debut and all those sort of guys. That whole generation came through, and I noticed it got a bit easier with me letting people into the team after that, which is where we sort of slumped for a couple of years with people not digging as deep. So now this year, pushing them harder and just want to go the same numbers like I was doing, get my team back up to, I think what have we got now? I think right now we've got like 14 in the fight team. And not everyone has fought, and maybe not everyone will fight, but my kids will be fighting every couple of months. I wouldn't mind them having, 5 or 6 this year would be nice. Bella's now old enough to fight here in Adelaide, but there's just no one for her to fight, so that's crap, but whatever. Keep driving to Melbourne. But yeah, I just want numbers again, man. I wouldn't mind aiming for like, 40, 50 again. And I don't really want to push for a particular number, but I just want to make sure that every time we're putting the guys on, that 9 out of 10 times they're doing the best they can. And that I'm walking out of shows being content. That's literally my aim. And obviously then I've got my pro guys who I've only got 2 that are active right now. Another one coming back, but he's probably going to go over to Thailand for a bit. Rig retired last year. And so I think we got Clint, who honestly, man, like when he starts doing what he can in the ring, people are going to go, what the hell? Like this guy is special, man. And I'm happy to put pressure on him by calling him out like this, man, because that's what I said to him this morning. I'm like, if you feel pressure, good, you deserve it. It's a privilege. And his IQ is ridiculous, man. And I literally have to dig to the bottom of my barrel to be able to spar him and actually land anything. He's that good. It's just that you've got to have that hunger that makes him want to convert that to wins or whatnot, But
get the dog in you.
Yeah, exactly, man. So yeah, just get the guys, as long as they're fighting every time at 100%, as in it's at 100%, they want it 100%, then I'm happy, man. I just want to smash out as much as we can this year. Travel a lot again with the fighters, doing a lot of amateur drives to Melbourne. Happy to do that every month if I have to.
Trips to Thailand? Any trips to Thailand this year, or taking a break from that?
I don't. For RWS, I will. To be honest, man, I'm actually a little bit over it. I want to do traveling, but I want to do something else. I want to go somewhere else.
Pan.
Done it, and I'm not a fan. My wife's going in July. One of her friends lives over there, so she's going to go over there, and I'm like, good luck to you. I actually have no real interest in going there again, but I want to do other parts of the world, man. Other parts that are different cultures, not necessarily just Asia.
America, and
Mexico, I do. America, I can't. But yeah, lots of places, man. I want to do lots. But for fights, if I have to go, then I'll go, and I won't be disappointed with going. But it's just not where my focus is at. I don't think this year. Maybe one trip this year, but if it means we get on RWS, then I go again and whatnot. But yeah, just take the travel side of it, take it as it comes, and make it that I'm not just traveling for the sake of traveling for fights and whatnot.
Fair enough. I think there's some fairly solid goals there, and I've got one last question for you. Well, two last questions. The old stock standard ones that I have for the end of every show. What do you think's happening for Muay Thai in 2026?
Man, I think 2025 was such a breakout year with more people, lack of a better description, more people choosing the real Muay Thai path again. I think we went through a few years of everyone being distracted by everyone getting slept and thinking that's what we're heading towards. But I do feel that, like the incentives you spoke about recently, I think more people now, I hear so many people now saying that they if they're choosing one or the other, they're choosing that pathway now, and I love it, man. And I see more people doing Muay Thai, watching Muay Thai, talking about that fight on RWS or this fight, that fight, and I'm like, more people are starting. I'm getting less of the whole Who's your favorite fighter? Rod Kong. Like I'm getting that was okay. That automatically says to me, all right, you're uneducated.
Yeah, I'm getting a lot more. Who's your favorite fighter? Tapao Gao. More traditional stylists.
Yeah, even in one man, like when people say they like Nabil, or they like like it's like cool. They're they're starting to see that Muay Thai was kind of getting left behind a little bit, being ignored a little bit
mm,
in for swapped for excitement, and there's definitely more people. Man, you look at people like Bailey Collins, how
mm,
he's gone from being just like almost out of control when he was fighting, and he even admitted it in a video, I think yesterday or the day before. He said like was trying to get more pumped up for a fight, more G'd up, more angry for a fight, and it was just
mm,
making silly mistakes because of it.
mm,
I think more people now are starting to learn how to play the game better, so you don't need to be an idiot. You don't need to be. You've obviously still got to have your personality and the things that make endear people to you and all that kind of stuff. But I think it's very much so that people are following that pathway down real Muay Thai, and then it's just a matter of learning how to do it, convert it from amateur into pro. Because right now in South Australia, my amateur scene doesn't really suit SA amateur scene because
mm-hmm,
it's the old school work rate stuff, and it's hard to beat that when you're doing proper Muay Thai. But all my
mm,
guys could go pro and they could fight pro, and it looked good.
mm, mm. Well, I think for me, you know how I feel about that. I think that's probably the most important thing. Now that leads into the next question. What does Muay Thai mean to you in 2026?
Oh, I think seeing my kids growing up a little bit more and knowing how my daughter goes into high school, she starts high school next week. I think she starts high school in 4 days. I think for me, it's 3 days. Knowing now how much more important this can be for some of the younger guys, like her having the focus on particular things, and then she's going to a school where not many people from her primary school are going, and she's leaving her friendship group behind. And luckily, one of the other boys in the fight team goes to her school, and he's quite a good kid. So I kind of look at it like, okay, this is her chance to really, start making friends with some people who are sports orientated to help her
Mm,
bring herself up to another level as well. But I think looking at it in my own home and then expanding that out is no different to all these other guys in the fight team.
mm-hmm,
These guys, like for me in 2026, I just want to see anyone who's a fighter, and I want everyone to think about it, trying to align yourself with people who are in the same on the same wavelength or better, so that everyone can, what is that rising tides ships thingy doobie analogy, that thing. But it's
Bro, I'm not a pirate. I don't know.
but for me this year, I just want to see. It's like I want to see people improving, man. I want to see people changing their lives.
Mm,
No, I don't think that my goal for being in the sport will ever be any different, as far as if I can get one person a year to maybe make some of the changes that I made in my life, and they can become better humans because of it, and find people that they align with, because we're all doing the same thing and we're all after the same goal. And that's pretty much it, man. Just bring on 2026 and everyone just be the best you can be.
that's it. I think that's a good summation of it was a big year for all of us last year. Who was it? Kieran said to me, he said, yeah, 2025 was a breakout year for you. And I was like, really? I didn't feel like it. But
No, it was. Hey, it was huge. Like huge. You became like a. That's why when you ring me and I'm at the gym and I'm like, oh, is this Joe Comerford from RWS? Because everyone like just laughs, because it's you've actually
uh,
literally like this last 12 months, man. You've become famous, bro. It's great. Obviously, it's Muay Thai
I mean,
famous. It's like
I
it's
suppose
Muay Thai famous.
it doesn't really kind of, I suppose the impact of it all hasn't really like sunk in that much because I feel like I'm just constantly working, especially, with teaching and everything, but still trying to make a positive impact on Muay Thai. And, I've taken a big step away from training. I want to get back into training this year. I think I had a podcast last week where it was just me and it was sort of a bit of a word salad. But one thing I was saying was I want to outsource a lot of like the stuff that I do, like the editing and get a little bit more time to myself so that I've got time to get back to Muay Thai because I feel like I shouldn't be speaking on something that I don't do. I mean, I've done it. Like you and I, we've done it. We've lived that life. But I also feel like I have to still be there and be on the ground.
Yeah, I think it's hard to push something when, like, man, you and I are both in the same boat. We're not pictures of health when we get our rigs out. We don't look like we're Muay Thai people. And if it wasn't for our tough stickers, no one would probably believe we're Muay Thai people as such.
Mm-mm.
But I think that's why it's so important to be showing the physical side of it as well, just to show that we're not just in this sport to talk shit.
And for that
We're
as well.
yeah, yeah, exactly. We're putting our body on the line. Like I've started sparring again. I kind of said I'd never spar again, mainly due to CTE, but I have started sparring and I just choose sort of who I spar.
Mm-mm.
And because I went through a state, I hadn't sparred for probably 6 months. Like Jason dropped me last year, and it not scare me, but I was just like pretty dumb for me to be doing this stuff now.
Mm.
Whereas I know also if I'm doing it and the guys can go, oh, like he doesn't just talk about it. This is actually what he does. It's going to make things easier when it comes time to teach people as well.
Yeah. Yeah, that's one thing that I've been thinking about is just like these Saturday mornings before RWS, just maybe going over to Pinson Chai or something like that and just going for their sparring sessions because I mean they're
Yep,
nice and controlled over there.
yep.
There's a good little crew over there.
Where is
They
that?
don't really have like too many high level guys, so I can sort of control it, be a bit more firmer and have a bit of fun.
Yeah,
Um,
where are they? Where are they based?
Lup Prow, Chok Chai Seaway. Yeah. Back end of Wang Hin that way.
Is it like not far from like Kongsita?
Yeah, no, literally around the corner.
Yeah, okay, thought
Literally
so, yeah,
around the
yeah.
corner.
I
They're
think I
like,
think I do remember where it is. Yeah,
yeah, you could walk from Kong Sita to Pinsanchai in like
I used to
less
ride
than.
my motorbike from Kongsita to Kongsita every day.
Really? Wow, that's quite far.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
I did that for
People.
a bit when I was sort of retired, and I almost came back. Not came back, but I almost jumped in, had a few more fights. A couple of years after I retired, just before I moved back to Australia, I was training there for about 6 months.
Yeah, well, I mean, it would make sense for me to do that because, on the way home from work, it's kind of on the way home. But and Swords Etchapan, I love that gym, but it's just like the guys are just at too much
The high
high
level, the
level and
high
high
intense
level and
level.
high. It's just too grueling for me as a washed up 35-year-old.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You do some more pad holding this year, or
Yeah, I think so. I think I'd like to get back into it, and you know, I prefer working with fighters. I like, I don't mind teaching beginners, but this new generation is a little bit hard to work with,
yeah,
as you would know.
yeah. I've started doing PTs again. That's
Awesome.
something. Yeah, I took a long break from it. Really, I only had one PT client that I was doing for a little while there, and aside from that, I've done none in probably like 3 or 4 years, I reckon.
Mm,
And yeah, now back doing it, which is cool.
nice, nice. Well, that's good. That's a bit of fun. Well, mate, what we might do is I might close it up there because that's nearly an
Yeah,
hour.
yeah.
anything to say for the fans of Mr. Pinkers?
Man, just keep supporting, keep watching my stuff, and you know, I might be negative Nancy a lot of the time, but there's a reason for it. And if you feel offended by what I say, it's probably because it's about you. Um, and if you feel offended, there's probably some truth in it. So, you know, don't get offended if it's not about you, and get ready to see a green belt hanging up in our gym in 4 weeks' time.
Nice. I love that. I love that. Now, if you don't know Pinky, he's Mr. Worldwide, everybody's cornerman. I think he's cornered me at the beginning of my career and the end.
The
last
fight.
fight. Yeah, where I got flattened by Joe Coverdale. Joe, it was funny. I said to Joe, I can't remember. I made some comment to him, and I said, "Oh, you're the great career ender," and he's like, "Oh, fuck, man, that's so grim. Don't say that."
Because he's such a lovely guy, bro.
He's a lovely bloke, isn't he?
Such a good dude, eh?
Yeah. Lovely bloke, and you know, thankful for everybody in Australian Muay Thai. Great scene. My friend, I'll let you go. If you guys like the content, please continue to support the channel. Like, share, subscribe. It really helps out the channel. You can check out Pinky on Team Pinky Muay Thai or Pinky Muay Thai on YouTube. It's Team Pinky Muay Thai on Instagram.
Yeah, Team Pinky Muay Thai everywhere you'll find me.
Yeah, Team Pinky Muay Thai. Go a lot of underscores on Instagram. I can't remember the actual breaks.
Don't worry about it.
I'll put it in the description. Friend, I will see you sooner rather than later, I hope. And thank you. Thanks for your time.
Thanks, brother. I'm sure I'll speak to you in the next few days anyway.
No worries. Okay, guys, like, share, subscribe, YouTube, Spotify, you know it. You know where to find me, at Joe Comerford Muay Thai, for all things Muay Thai.